Okay, so by the end of this class, my my goal is that all of you feel confident making sentences which have the notion of to have. And I think Rupert Snell has done a very good job. Like typically when I cover this topic, I cover it based on the grammar, but he has combined three different topics within grammar to express how would you say the same thing in English. In English, you will always have to have, like, but in Hindi, there are three different post positions that can be used. Okay. And my goal is that, with the help of this lecture, you will feel comfortable. Okay. As always, the classes are always interactive. So feel free to ask any questions or comments you have. You see, I use the word, the word have, right? So typically, there are three different areas where you can use to have. One is like you have a condition. Okay. The other area is basically where you have some objects or a material possession. And I'm going to give an example of that as well. And the third area is where you have some family members, relatives, etc. Okay. An example is condition. Let's say a medical condition. You have headache or fever. There is a way to say that in Hindi. In English, you'll say I have a fever or I have a headache or I have something else such as like a cold. Okay. In English, you will say I have a car or I have an iPhone or I have a camera or I have a pet. Anything material, right? You can say that to have. Okay. Or similarly, non-material, you can say I have time or I don't have any time. Don't have time. That's another way to say that. Third one is like, when you talking about your family members, you're introducing anyone, any other person, and then you're talking about yourself and you can say, I have two brothers. You see in English, or you can say, I have one sister. In English, again, you're using have in all of them. But in Hindi, there are three different post positions that can be used. Okay. In the thing that you have to remember in the first one is that you'll be using ko, the post position called ko. In the way you write in the Devanagari, you have a ka with o. Okay, ko. In the second one, you will say ke pass. Ke pass. You have a ka with a and you have a pa with a and sa. Pass. Ke pass. Okay. In the third one, it's basically you will be using another post position called ka, ke, and ki. You have a ka, ke, and you have a ki. Okay, ka, ke, and ki. We'll go over the examples of each of them, but I want to make sure you have a summary of it. Okay, so you can at least go back to this table, and this is the way I want you to practice this particular concept. Make a table in the three areas. Okay, and as we are making progress in the class, you write examples which relate to you. So by the end of the class, when we have the breakout room, you can talk to other person and tell them about about all these three different categories. Okay, we will practice the positive scenarios, which is like, let's say I can say mujhko fever hai. Okay, we'll practice negative scenario, mujhko fever nahi hai. Okay, you should be able to ask questions to the other person. Kya aapko जुकाम hai, or do you have a cold? Okay, so and similarly in the second one also. So keep that in mind. So as we make progress in the course, you should be able to think about the scenarios that you find relevant. Okay, so let me erase it. Hopefully you were able to write it down, and I want to, with your help, I want to cover some examples. Okay, so I'm gonna, as always, ask some of you to participate and tell me about what do you think. So let me write down the first one. Cool. So the way to think about it is like you have a pronoun, which is, as you know, you will talk about, I'm going to use a basic pronoun here right now, which is main. Okay, which is I. and then you have a condition and you will put hai. Typically, typically you will have मैं and then you have हूँ. But in this case, you will be adding ko with it. So you have a मैं plus ko. Okay, because I said that. If you have to remember anything, just remember that you have to use ko with your pronoun. In the second one, you have to use ke past. In the third one, you have to use ka, ke, and ki. Okay, so Jamil, what is मैं plus ko?
So मुझको और मुझे.
Very good, right? So it will be मुझको और
मुझे.
Awesome. So if you have a condition, let's say you have a fever or if you have a headache, how will you say that?
It will be मुझको बुखार है.
Very good.
I have a fever.
Very good, right? So you said मुझको बुखार है. And let's say you don't know the word for in Hindi बुखार, what will you say? You can say मुझको
fever है.
Very good, right? You can say मुझको fever है. Awesome. Once again, the pronoun here is मैं, which is I. Okay. By adding ko in that pronoun, it becomes मुझको. Okay. Similarly, if you know other pronouns, all you have to do is add ko in it and conjugate it accordingly, and it becomes मुझको or तुझको or आपको, हमको, उसको, you name it, right? So from your perspective, just remember that concept. Let me ask Ted, can you make one sentence using it, Ted? We have मुझको बुखार है. You can make something similar. You can unmute yourself, and if you need more time, that's fine as well. But
I was muted.
okay, try it.
मुझे सर में दर्द है.
Okay, very good. मुझे, I'm going to write. You can say headache or you can say सिर दर्द है.
सर दर्द है.
Awesome. सिर दर्द है. Sir is head and dard, ache, right? मुझे सिर दर्द है. Here, the point I want to illustrate, you can replace sir with anything else and it remains the same. You can say मुझे दांत दर्द है or दांत में दर्द है, which is like you have a pain in my tooth. मुझे पाँव दर्द है और पाँव में दर्द है. You name it, right? So you should be able to share that with a doctor or any health practitioner you are meeting. Okay, so hopefully that gives you a clue here. Let's ask somebody else. So we have some new folks as well. So welcome everyone. What about you, Yirka ji? What do you think? Can you give some examples?
Yes, I've got an example and a question at once.
Yeah, go for it.
Can I say something like क्या तुझे गर्मी है? Like garmi is like a heat, so I'm asking like, do you feel hot?
So in that case, you say, because you said feel, it's to feel is lagna.
Okay.
So you'll say क्या तुझको गर्मी लग रही है.
Okay, so I've got
Okay,
so I've got another example. क्या तुझे जुकाम है?
Very good. क्या? So you see, so far we were using मुझे, which is to me. Okay, but let me write down this one and I'm going to illustrate it. So you said क्या तुझे और क्या तुझे, what did you say?
जुकाम.
Okay, क्या तुझे जुकाम और cold है. Okay, so I usually write J and our friend Leah, she tells me to write Z. So I'm glad about that. So I'm going to write it down. Okay, क्या तुझे जुकाम है. Okay. So this is good. Okay. So now one thing I want to explain here is, मुझे that we were using. Okay. What does it really mean in English? In English, you are really saying to me, this is the condition. There is a condition. That's how it is literally translating. If you were to translate from, Hindi to English, to me is, you said मुझे, and then in this case, you're asking a question. Okay. And two is, it's informal you. So you are asking a question, Yirka, to someone else. And what is the question?
Are you cold? Are you like...
Okay, very good. It's basically, are you cold? Okay. Awesome. let me ask somebody else. So why don't I, rather than asking each individual, you guys tell me, and let me just make a gallery view so you can all feel comfortable sharing your view. Whoever wants to go next, let's go with that. Dhanraj?
मुझे खांसी है.
Okay. Let's go. Dhanraj, you go first, and then, after that, you can.
I have a question though. Is this used only for like conditions, or could it be used like for an object like column, pen?
So we will, for material, if you have a pen or if you have a guitar, we will use a different pose position, the second category, which we will cover right after this. Okay. But right now, if you want to share an example with this one, we either positive, negative, or interrogative, which is, Yirka mentioned, kya tujhe जुकाम hai?
So I can say, mujhko bimar hai.
Okay. You'll say मुझको बीमारी है. मुझको, I'm going to change it to negative. Okay, so you say मुझको कोई बीमारी नहीं है. That I do not have a condition. मुझको कोई बीमारी नहीं है. Okay. If you were to say बीमार, you will say मैं बीमार हूँ. I am sick. Okay. बीमारी is sickness, right? So to me, there is no sickness. Okay, so that's how you say, and these are all like sicknesses, different kind of sicknesses. So right, मुझको बुखार है, मुझे सिर दर्द है, क्या तुझे जुकाम है, और मुझको कोई बीमारी नहीं है. So that's negative. कोई is any. Okay, and nahi, as you know, is the negative part of it.
What is the difference between bukhar and bimari? I mean bimari.
But okay, very good. Who would like to answer that? What's the difference between bukhar and bimari?
Bukhar is fever.
Okay, and what is bimar or bimari?
Sick.
An illness.
Illness, very good. So this is a generic word, Sindhuji. Generic word that you can use for any condition. Those are the general symptoms that, मैं बीमार हूँ, I am sick.
Yeah, for any kind of sickness, we just say bimar, and for specific, we can use different words. Yeah,
that is right. That is right. Okay. Because the person can ask you, आपको क्या बीमारी है? And then you can say, मुझे बहुत बुखार है. Okay, मुझको बुखार है और मुझको सर्दी है. Okay, great question. Let's see. Somebody was saying before, and then I interrupted. Was it Vatsalaji, you, or I want to make sure that all of you get chance or opportunity to share. Anyone else would like to add more?
Maybe okay.
Go for it.
मुझको hiccups है.
मुझको hiccups है. Okay, that's good. What else?
मुझको खांसी है.
मुझको खांसी है. That's right. What does it mean?
I have a cough.
I have a cough. Great. Awesome.
How
Kelly?
about Ashwarya Ray ko COVID hai?
Very good, right? So you, in the sense, not good that she has it, but the sentence is correct. Okay, don't misunderstand me, right? So she said, like, one of the actress, she has COVID, right? So the actress plus COVID hai, right? So in this case, you can say, I'm gonna just pick on one person, Ramesh. So far using मैं and tu, and then you can say Ramesh ko COVID hai. I'm not gonna write COVID here because I'm a little bit paranoid now. This is spreading like anything. So the last thing you want anyone to have is COVID. But great example. Go for
Maybe
it.
we can write Ramesh ko COVID nahi hai.
COVID nahi hai. Awesome, right? Ramesh ko COVID
That's
nahi hai.
better.
What?
It's better.
Is better? Yeah. Ramesh is feeling better. Great example. Navneet, you've been quiet. You want to share something?
सर
Yeah.
हमको बुखार नहीं है.
किसको?
हमको.
हमको. Okay. हमको बुखार नहीं है. Awesome. What is हमको? What does it mean, Navneet?
We don't have fever.
Very good. We don't have fever. हमको बुखार नहीं है. Awesome. Vatsala ji, and then Itzel.
मुझे ब्रेकफास्ट चाहिए.
Okay. Awesome. Which case? So this is another example where you're using ko, but in this case, you are using it that if you want something. Okay. Typically, when I cover ko, I cover all use cases of ko where you can use this postposition ko. But what I like about Rupert Snell is, he found a use case, which is to have, and then combine all the postpositions that are used for to express, to have, which is like co has many other use cases, not just this one. But in this case, the way he sliced and diced, it's basically so your example, it's correct that that you need a breakfast, mujhe breakfast chahiye. But in this case, we are covering to have. Okay,
Ashu Ji,
go for it.
I have a quick question. So when it says Ramesh ko COVID nahi hai, how come you don't say Ramesh ke paas? Like, you say mere paas kitab hai. So how come you don't say Ramesh ke paas?
Because this is not, it's a condition, it's a an illness. So you have to, when you're thinking about saying it in Hindi, you have to see whether it is a material thing or not. Is it something you can hold it in your hand? Okay.
Oh,
You can hold a pen in your hand or a pencil in your hand, or you can touch like a car, right? Yirka he was raising his hand, so I'm sure he has something insightful to share. So please.
I was not, sorry.
No, go for it. If you.
I wasn't raising a hand, but I was just thinking that condition is like an abstract noun, abstract thing. A material is something that you said.
Yeah, it's a great point.
oh, so COVID is not a tangible thing. That's why we use ko. So like any health thing, you say like aapko chashma hai. Well, actually, that's not a good one.
That's you have it, right? So mere paas chashma hai, right?
I don't want to give anyone any illness, so I don't want to say anything like that. But if it's an intangible thing, you use ko alone.
Is that Vedant?
Yeah, it's really
Awesome, great. At least I can recognize your voice now.
Yeah,
I'm
sorry, my camera is just blurry. I don't like to be on camera.
No, don't worry. I'm just saying at least I feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Okay, so hopefully this is clear. Anyone has any questions on co before we move on to the next topic? Everyone feels comfortable? Leah, you want to give it a try without feeling stressful?
Of course. I'll give it. I don't know if it's a good example, but I'll try. Usko khushi hai.
Very good. Usko khushi hai. Usko khushi hai. And what does it mean?
Well, more or less, happiness happened to her or to him, but.
Okay. So usko is, that's right. Usko, him or her. Okay. So there are multiple ways to say that. The example you have given is grammatically correct. Either you can say वह खुश है, okay, which means he or she is happy. वह खुश है, okay. Or the other way is like happiness is like she's feeling happiness basically. So उसको खुशी है, okay, उसको खुशी है. Or you can say हमको खुशी है और मुझको खुशी है. You also seen like मुझको खुशी हुई और हमको खुशी हुई, मुझको खुशी हुई. Okay, great. Anyone else? Than, you've been quiet. You want to give it a try?
No, thank you. I'd like to ask a question if I may. We said before mujhko for I have, but then we said mujhe sirdar ho bokar hai. Why was it mujhe instead of mujhko?
So great question. Both of them are same. Both of them are exactly same. You can say mujhe or it's same as mujhko.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Is that Tom? New person?
Yes, new person. Namaste.
Okay. Awesome. Namaste. Good to have you. We'll learn more about you in the end of the class. But thanks for joining. Okay. Awesome.
Ashu Ji had one more question. So I understood like you can use this mujhko and say I have happiness, I have sadness, I have intelligence and everything. But how do you convert that form to intelligence and everything? Like for example, if I say chalak, it's like intelligence. How would I convert chalak to intelligence? Like if I want to say it in Hindi, is there a way or a pattern?
Say it again. I missed
For
other
example,
part.
I want to say I have intelligence. Okay. One way I have intelligence.
I have intelligence. Okay.
So I'll say mujhko intelligence hai, but what if I want to say it in Hindi? I know that chalak is intelligent, but how would I translate it into?
I mean, you won't make it too complicated. You will say, the simplest way to say is like मैं intelligent हूँ. Okay. Or
Okay.
और वह intelligent है और वह चालाक है. That's the easiest way to say that. Okay. You'll not make it too complicated that intelligence is upon me. You'll not go in that route. You will keep it very simple. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
This is focused primarily on health conditions or to express some of the feeling like मुझको खुशी है और मुझको दुख है. Okay. Or मुझको other conditions that we discuss. Focus on that. But the other things you're saying, I mean, I'm sure we can make it work with co as well. But those are skills, you can really say that without using co as well. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Got it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Sorry, just one more question. So on
Yeah, please. Questions are good, right? Because everyone, I'm sure, have similar questions. So it's better to ask.
in that example of usko kushi hai, if you wanted to say, it's me kush hum. Is that right? So it's just kush, not kushi for me kush hum.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah, मैं खुश हूँ, you can say.
So it's the state of happiness is kushi, and then.
So you are using happy versus happiness in a sentence.
Okay.
Right. So there is a way you will use happy in a sentence. There is a way you will use happiness. Right. So.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah. Awesome. Good. So I feel comfortable now. So we'll move on to the next one, right? Where you have something material or tangible that you can touch. So I'll just keep it here so you can still look at it. But how do we use to have in Hindi when you're talking about some material possession, right? You can say, the way you write it is ke paas. And I'm going to write it in English. Usually I write in English first or Romanagari first, but ke paas. Okay. So how do we use that? One example would be, I have a car. I have a car. So you have main, which is your pronoun here. With that, you will use ke paas. Okay. And then you will say car. And then you will have hai. Okay. You have to replace this with, right now we're talking about car. So let me ask someone, what do you think, Vedant? What is main plus ke paas?
Mere paas.
मेरे पास कार है और मेरे पास एक कार है. Okay. Let me erase it and hopefully this makes sense to everyone. You have मेरे पास कार है. What other examples can you think of, Vedant? Let's start with simple examples.
Yeah, मेरे पास एक किताब है.
Okay, very good. So you can talk about a kitab, which is a
book.
Very good. Keep going.
और मेरे पास एक गाय है.
Guy is a cow. Is that what you say?
जी.
Okay, good. So I have a cow is, मेरे पास एक cow है और you can say एक गाय है.
आपके पास एक गाड़ी है.
Okay, आपके पास एक गाड़ी है. Awesome. You have a car. Keep going.
और जेरिका के पास एक laptop है.
Very good.
Trying to spice it up a little.
Okay. Simple, right? So these are very simple sentences you can all think of, right? Now, when you're introducing yourself to other people, you can say that, right? I mean, it also applies if you have a degree or something like that. Okay, मेरे पास masters है, right? I have a master's. Okay, और मेरे पास एक bachelor's degree है. Okay, you can say that as well. Let's try to make some changes and have fun with it. So far we were using मेरे पास, which is like I have. Okay, let's try to use different pronouns. And Sangeeta ji, you want to go next and give us different combinations in the second category?
आपके आपके पास एक पुस्तक है?
Okay, so you have a laptop. All you have done is you. And what is you in Hindi? It's
आपके पास?
okay. So you in general is aap, and with if you add ke paas, it becomes aapke paas. Okay, I'm just trying to break it down so even complete beginners can follow it. So it becomes aapke paas. So awesome. So you said aapke paas kitab hai. Keep going. What other examples can you think of?
तुम्हारे पास?
Okay, tumhare paas, which is also an you, but it's a little bit semi-formal. Tumhare paas. तुम्हारे पास लैपटॉप है. Okay, great. Navras, I haven't had a chance to talk to you, but what do you think?
उसका पास, इसका
Uske.
पास.
Okay, awesome. So let me erase it and give full sentences if you can, Navras ji. So you said he. He
Yes.
has
उसके पास एक तीर है. Like अर्जुना के पास एक तीर है.
तीर है. So how do you say तीर in English? I have to bow, right?
Arrow also.
Arrow. So उसके पास he, right? So you said उसके पास
एक तीर है.
तीर है. Awesome. Where are you studying this one? I'm glad you at least remember it.
In the
तीर है.
Gita.
Awesome. What else? So he has an arrow.
Yes.
उसके पास एक तीर है.
हमारे like also should I make for uske or something else?
Go for it. Your creative space. You get to decide.
हमारे पास दो घर है.
Very good. So you said हमारे पास. We have. So now this example is a border case. We can use it in the third scenario as well, but I'm going to still write it down. We have 2 houses. Okay, so you said we have 2 houses. And answer is हमारे पास
दो घर है.
Okay, हमारे पास 2 घर हैं. I'll tell you in the third scenario also you can use it, but right now it's okay to use this one. हमारे पास 2 घर हैं. Okay, great. Now Tasneem ji, I'm gonna switch to Tasneem ji. Let's say I come to, like, I'm cooking. Okay, I am good at making something, a dish or something like that, a curry. Okay, and I'm using your kitchen and I ask you that do you have this masala or a spice? Okay, and you have to tell me that I don't have this spice, but I have the other spice. Does this scenario make sense, Tasneem? Yeah, kind of. Okay. So we'll get to that. So let's say I asked you this question. I'll help you out. Okay. So let's say I ask you, do you have garam masala? Do you have? And it's a type of a masala or a spice. Garam masala.
मेरे पास नहीं.
Okay. So first, how will I ask this question in Hindi? Do you have garam masala?
क्या? आपको? आपको पास?
आपको और आपके?
आपके पास?
Very good. क्या आपके पास?
गरम मसाला.
Okay, garam masala है. I ask you this question, how will you respond? Let's say you do not have it, but you have something else.
I'll say जी नहीं.
जी नहीं.
मेरे पास नहीं हो.
मेरे पास. I'm going to just write GH. मेरे पास गरम और GM गरम मसाला नहीं है.
मसाला नहीं हो.
मेरे पास. Let's say you have
I will say नहीं है और नहीं हो.
Okay, नहीं है. You say मेरे पास नहीं है.
Okay.
But you can say लेकिन
मेरे पास. लेकिन मेरे पास. What is the next? चाट मसाला.
Very
Chaat
good. Right?
masala.
Awesome, awesome. You said मेरे पास चाट मसाला है. Awesome. So you see how you, even though we are learning these simple sentences, but how you can use it to carry longer conversations or more scenario-based conversation. Okay.
Can I have a question?
Yeah, go for it.
You originally said a different masala, so would it be alag masala or dusra masala?
You can say
something
that.
like that.
You can say
Okay.
that. मेरे पास दूसरा मसाला है और
दूसरा.
अलग मसाला है. You can
Okay,
say that.
thanks. Thank you.
Right? Of course. But hopefully this scenario makes sense, okay? Because it covers three things. It covers interrogative, where I know how to ask a question in Hindi. Do you have? Okay. It covers negative, which Tasneem, she said, no, मेरे नहीं, जी नहीं, मेरे पास ये नहीं है. Okay. And third thing, it covers positive, that what she has. Okay. And fourth thing, she connected all of them. That मेरे पास ये नहीं है, लेकिन ये है. Okay. And I'm glad, Yirka, you asked about alag or dusra, because this is the question Luca asked a couple of weeks back. Like dusra, when we were learning about ordinal numbers, means second, but dusra also means different. And I think this was one of your questions, Luca, like, can I use dusra as like, not second, but a different, which is the case here, right? So hopefully this makes sense.
I was wondering how to tell from if someone is saying dusra to me, how do I know if they're talking about the second or different? Yeah.
It's for example, yeah. So it's a great question. Like, how do I know? In this case, let's say मेरे पास गरम मसाला नहीं है, मेरे पास दूसरा मसाला है. You have to infer from it that she's not talking about second masala. She's talking about a different kind of masala. Okay. If I'm talking about my kids, I have, let's say, 3 kids, and I'm saying, पहला बच्चा engineer है, दूसरा बच्चा, doctor hai. You can say it's second is used here, that because in the first case you're talking about pehla. Okay. Yeah, awesome. Any other questions on the second scenario, K-pass, before we move on to the next scenario?
Yeah, I have one question.
Go for it.
So here comes my sentence, but I don't know if it's the K pause or the K, right? Because it depends upon what you think of your pet. So hamara parivar, let's see, maybe either hamara parivar, I don't know if it's hamara or hamare, right? Maybe it's hamare parivar ke paas ek beli or ek kutta hai.
Okay.
Or is it just K? That's the thing I don't know.
So just like house, it can fit in this category as well as the third category. Okay.
Either.
You can say mere paas ek.
But if I did hamara parivar with the hamare, would it be hamare?
You can say yes, hamare. It will be hamare. हमारे परिवार के पास मेरे और हमारे परिवार के पास एक जर्मन शेपर्ड है और golden retriever है, whichever pet you have.
But it would be plural, right? The hai, because it's a cat and a dog.
That is correct. I use mere parivar, but that's why I write hai. But you're right. If it is hamare, you will be using
it matches the objects. Okay.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, that's a good one. What else? Any other questions? Okay, so just to revise, if you have any tangible material object, you can use K-pass, whether it is a car, iPhone, laptop, book, masalas, degrees, job. मेरे पास एक नौकरी है. Okay, I have a job, right? I have a pet. You can use that as well. Okay, last one I didn't cover is, let's say somebody is really busy and you're trying to ask them a question. They can obnoxiously say, I don't have time, right? How do you say that in Hindi? I don't have time.
मेरे पास समय नहीं है, नहीं है.
Very good. मेरे पास time नहीं है, or you can say मेरे पास समय नहीं है. Okay, and same thing you can ask as a question also. क्या आपके पास 5 minutes हैं? Like if you need a quick favor, you can say, do you have 5 minutes? क्या आपके पास 5-10 minutes हैं? right? And the person can say, हाँ मेरे पास बहुत सारा time है, you know, और मेरे पास time नहीं है, right? Itzel, any question? I haven't had a chance to talk to you.
No, everything is okay.
Okay, Navneet, you want to share something? How will you use K-Pass?
Sure.
Yeah.
मेरे पास 2 घर है.
Okay. Tell me something about sport. Which do you have? Soccer ball, baseball, football? Which ball do you have? All. Right? How will you say that?
आपके पास बैडमिंटन बैट्स है?
Bats, like you mean the cricket type bat, or what did you say?
Like the bats for badminton?
Badminton, okay, right? So exactly, you can say that मेरे पास badminton है, or you can say आपके पास badminton है. Awesome. Okay, so hopefully this is clear for everyone. We'll move on to the next topic, which is family members. What is the third postposition we can use to express the notion of to have? Like I have, so far we've covered like I have fever, I have medicine. What about I have 2 brothers, right? I cannot use मुझको 2 भाई हैं, or मेरे पास 2 भाई हैं. Even though you will still see people using it, but the right way to do it is use postposition ka, ke, and ki. So you have ka, you have ki, sorry, you have basically ke and ki. Okay. So the right way to do that is you will say John has a brother. I'm going to give examples so it's very clear to you. John has a brother. Okay, so you say John का और John's brother. Okay, John का एक भाई है. John का एक भाई है. John का एक भाई है. Okay, John की एक बहन है और sister है. Okay, I'm going to just write sister as well as बहन है. Okay, similarly, so you can see ka is used for masculine singular. Ki is used for feminine singular. Okay, ki is also used for feminine plural. John की 2 बहनें हैं. Okay, so I hope this is clear. John का भाई, John की sister, and then John has 2 brothers. In that case, you'll write John के 2 भाई हैं. John के 2 भाई हैं. John के 2 भाई हैं. Okay, so hopefully this is clear.
Can I have a short question, please?
Yeah.
In Hindi, there is no need for article, like ek bhai is not needed, right? So it can be John ka bhai hai, just this.
I mean, I won't get too particular on that, but yeah, if you say John ka bhai hai, that basically implies that he has a brother.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I don't typically write, you will not see me in sentences like I'm writing ek or, quite often. I don't write it, I omit it. But you are right. I mean, it implies here, if you don't have to, you don't really have to write ek here. John ka bhai hai or John ki behan hai.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Now the borderline case that we were discussing about, like scenario, where can you use it for house also, right? So Rupert Snell thinks so, and I think he's right here. And even in the cases where you have, you're not talking about just family members, you're talking about parts of body, and houses. You can say that. In this case, he's using Krishna ka ek ghar hai, or let's say I'm just going to say Yirka has a house. Yirka ka ek ghar hai. Yirka has a house. even though you can say Irka ke paas ek ghar hai, like he has a house. No, but Rupersnell is right. You can use in the third scenario as well. My preference would be for family members. It looks very easy and it goes very well. For parts of body also, you can use it ka, ke, and ki. Okay. Other examples he gives is like Ram ke do bhai hai, which is like Ram has two brothers. Okay. Krishna ka ek ghar hai. Krishna has a house. Shiv ki teen aankhein hain. Like Shiva has 3 eyes. Prakash ke 3 bachche hain. Prakash has 3 kids. So you see K for 3 kids. Okay. Now it means like, you can say Prakash ke 3 bachche hain. That means he's not going into whether they are boys or girls, group of kids. Okay. If it is all girls, Prakash ki 3 bachchiyan hain. Okay. If it is boys and girls together, we use K. Okay. Prakash ke 3 bachche hain.
And I had one more question.
Yeah,
so
go for
when
it.
you're using K, we can also use it for respect, right? What if one person has only one brother, but he or she wants to give respect? So I can say, Sindhu ke ek bhai hai. That is correct.
Sindhu ka ek bhai hai.
Why? Because what if I want to give him respect? It's only for plurals. The ka and K is only for plural.
So who are you going to respect, yourself or to,
To my brother,
Okay.
the third speaker. The third speaker is talking
third
like
person.
she has an elder brother, like that.
Yeah. So you, in the same example, Yirka ka ek bhai hai.
Okay.
Right? You're saying
I want
like
to mention like Eka has an elder brother. Okay. So I don't want to use this bada bhai. So is it possible I can say that Eka ke ek bhai hai and mean that he has an elder brother?
You can say that. You can say that. In fact, even Rupersnell covers that. Like I think he covers it one of the example in the end. For example, in the end, he says, Bunty ke 8 ladkiyan hain, right? It's basically in referring to relatives. Some speakers use K rather than Ka and Ki, regardless of the numbers and gender. In this case, if you want to give extreme respect to Ekta or someone, or Girka.
But it is okay if we just write ka. That is also right? Because I just don't want to miss this respect part. That's why I'm asking on this.
No, I know what you're saying. I know
Yeah.
it's completely okay. Girka ka ek bhai hai. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
You're not missing. If I have to say, Meri mother or Meri mummy ka ek bhai
Yeah,
hai.
exactly. Because when we talk, we say mere papa. We never say mera papa there. So that's why I wanted to confirm.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're not missing out any respect there. You can say that. But if you want to be on the safer side, there is nothing grammatical wrong. Girka ke ek bhai hai. You can say that. Girka ke ek bhai hai. As long as you know the difference, as long as you know that it is used for masculine plural, but in this case you're using to give respect, not because it's a masculine plural.
Yeah, I understand this.
Yeah, awesome. Any questions so far, anyone?
तो मेरे पास एक सवाल है, or is it मेरा सवाल?
मेरा एक सवाल. Yeah, so both of them can go well. I would say मेरा एक सवाल है.
मेरा एक सवाल है. Same with like मेरा एक idea है, like mental. Okay.
Yeah. Go for it. What's the सवाल?
That was the question.
That was the question. I see. Okay. So, okay.
I have a question.
Yeah.
With bits, are you use मेरे पास बिल्ली है और एक बिल्ली?
मेरे एक बिल्ली है और मेरे पास एक बिल्ली है. Okay. Both of them are right. Just like houses, both of them can be used. Rupersnell, I think he's using the, for the pets, he doesn't say specifically, but I think both of them go well. मेरे पास एक German Shepherd है. You can say that, or second one will go better actually for the pet. So मेरे पास एक German Shepherd है, मेरे पास एक Golden Retriever है. Even though it's a living thing basically.
Thank you.
Yeah, awesome. So if everything is good, what we can do is we have 15 minutes or at least 11 minutes, and I want to do breakout room so you guys can talk to each other. Try to remain on this topic where you can discuss with each other and ask questions with each other. Okay, if you don't feel sharing personal details, you can make it up. The point is to just have basic Hindi conversation with your fellow Hindi learners. Okay, so I'm gonna create breakout rooms so you guys can have Hindi conversation for 5-10 minutes. And for folks who joined live on Facebook, thank you so much. We'll see you next Sunday. So I'm gonna stop it, and I'm gonna just